Hello, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates. I'm back in the Indianapolis area and back at work, and for now done with my full-time focus on my treatment for trauma and PTSD and abandonment issues. And I'm going to share a little bit differently today than maybe what I've shared in the past. I'm going to be speaking today on 10 benefits of emotional brokenness. In our culture, especially as men, we tend to really sort of fight the concept of brokenness. Men are taught to be in control, confident, make a lot of money, have a lot of power, and just have this presence about them that is authoritative, and that's cool, that's sexy. And most of you know I call that condition counterdependency in a lot of my previous videos. But counterdependency is being a walled-off man. It's being a man that has a good bit of arrogance, and they may seem cool, but there's a lot of downsides to it when it comes to long-term emotional connectedness and intimacy. So frankly, I've been waiting to make a video until some of my fire in my belly came back and some of my counter-dependent walls went up. When I was in the treatment process, I could sort of work full-time on myself, and I was exercising twice a day, and you guys saw some of the videos. There's a spark there, and since then, being back home, I've been a wee bit wobbly. I'm putting one foot in front of another, and I'm steady, and my practice has really been blessed. In my third week, I'm up to 21 hours of clients scheduled, so I'm real pleased with that. But I want to share today from my heart what emotional brokenness is and how it can be helpful. Brokenness is having your defense mechanisms penetrated. And again, especially men can benefit from that, because a man with his walls up and his ears all stopped up, who isn't listening and who's oblivious and who is arrogant, you ladies know, is a hard man to live with. And I was that man. And so what recovery is for a counter-dependent man or woman is to really embrace your pain and see it as a gift. The way God has ordered the universe, in my opinion, the main tool for God or Mother Nature to teach us and to heal our unresolved childhood wounds is the pain of relationship. So whether you're going through a divorce, or you're fighting a lot in your marriage, or your spouse has an addiction, whatever it is that's causing you pain, just know that you are married to exactly the right person, and their presence in your life was ordered, and it makes sense, and you drew them to yourself for a reason, and their job is to make you completely friggin' miserable. And I say that to couples, and they always laugh. when I suggest that the purpose of marriage is to do just that, to make them completely friggin' miserable. And they say, well, we're arrived. We have achieved that. So 10 things that would benefit you if you got knocked down off your high horse, if you were to go through an experience of loss and have some of your arrogance penetrated. So number one, these are in no particular order. It'll make you more humble, and it'll make you more open-minded, more teachable. It'll make you a better listener. I was pretty wounded as a child, a very young child, and those of you who knew me before my recent growth and spiritual awakening and relationship calamity, I really did have a lot of arrogance about me, and it was a container for the pain. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really know where I came from. I just was all about control and confidence and power, and appearing to be somebody who had answers. And this experience that I went through with my former fiance really did bring a lot of brokenness to my life. And I have a lot of remorse and regret that I wish I could have been a better listener when she was in my life. I just didn't have ears to hear, so to speak. But if you're still in your relationship and you're battling away, and in midlife, fellas, there's this growing sense of sadness and a growing sense of this different person emerging. I used to just have a lot of swagger, and I just was very, very confident. And this last couple of weeks that I've been home, to be honest with you, there's sort of a big ball of fear that I carry around in my chest. But that is fear and woundedness that was there all along, all the way back to my childhood. And fellas, there is a needy and sad little boy in almost every man. And we don't want to feel that. Nobody wants to walk around as a grown man feeling like a little kid. But if you're going to heal your marriage, you're going to need to first heal yourself, and Superman has to go. And the best tool for bringing about a better you and a better listener and a deeper you is the pain of your relationship. So hang in it. Don't run away from it. It may be really painful to be separated, to live in an apartment if you're living in an apartment. There might be a part of you that says, hey, I'm a successful guy, I'm a good-looking guy, I'm going to go find somebody new. There isn't anybody new that's going to be healthier than what you're already in, and you're gonna head from the frying pan right into the fire. The second benefit of emotional brokenness is it really gives you an opportunity to heal your emotional wounds that you sustained in your childhood. I had really severe abandonment issues as an infant. My mother had gallbladder surgery soon after I was born, and I was induced, and I came out screaming bloody murder So the core of me was a very angry, raging infant. And this experience of abandonment that I went through exposed that. And I I really didn't act well. I was angry and reactive and out of control. And some of you received an email that was really irrational. And I apologize for that, but I don't apologize for it in the sense that sometimes our, our wounding in our relationship is so severe and so painful. It just exposes such rawness and such primitiveness that you do the best that you can. And I am sorry for anybody who was harmed by my reactivity, especially my former fiance. I'm so sorry. Um, but the good news is when you get the stuffing knocked out of you and you're brought to your point of most broken, it gives you a real opportunity to heal and to grow. And it's been hard, folks. This past 3 months has been so difficult for me, but I've healed, I think, more in the past 3 months, 4 months than I think I did my entire life before this. So you'll see in coming videos if I regain my spunk and my fire. I suspect that I will, but I don't want to go back to being arrogant. I feel that tearful, really sad little boy at my core as I cry, and I'm still crying pretty often, but it feels so cleansing. Gentlemen, crying is a gift, and it's a sign of manliness and strength, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And if you're going to become a better man and a better father and a better husband, you're going to need to spend some time crying and grieving whatever happened to that wounded little boy. The third benefit of emotional brokenness is it'll help you be more present with yourself. I tell people that the world is three-dimensional, but there's a fourth dimension, and the fourth dimension is emotional depth. It's emotional connectedness to yourself, and then the ability to go there with somebody else. And I wish I knew all this in my head, but I wish I would have had the ability to be really present with myself and really present with my former fiance. But I was simply on a mission to be good enough and to be smart enough and to make enough money and to have enough power, as most of us men are. I'm working with a couple who their presenting problem is there's just sort of an emotional lack of connection. And I told them that they really don't have so much of an emotional problem or a marital problem as he had a childhood problem. As we explored his childhood, there was a great deal of trauma and abuse. And the mind is an amazing thing. For me, I spent 45 years encased in counterdependency and religious addiction, and I had no idea I had this screaming, angry infant at my core. And this fellow I'm talking about is encased in the nicest man you'll ever want to meet. He's delightful, but there is a really sad, wounded traumatized little boy at his core. And I told him, we gotta dig that fella up and set him loose and get him crying. Um, and as we heal him and as we heal his wife's wounds from her childhood, the marital connection will certainly take care of itself. The fourth benefit of emotional brokenness is it will really make you reach out for support and reach out for community. One of my recent trips to a treatment center was a program, a 4.5-day program called Facing Love Addiction. That's one of my addictions is love. It's my main addiction, in fact, because that needy little boy tends to over-attach and then get abandoned, as happened recently, for which I'm grateful. But my friends, my group members, I hope I'm not breaching confidentiality here, fellas and gals, but there was 7 of us in the group, and 6 of us have stayed in almost daily connection via text. And let me tell you, when times are hard and I get an encouraging word from my peeps, from my program that I was in, it's such a wonderful thing. It's a spiritual, safe community. And when I was in my counter-dependent arrogance, I didn't really need anybody. I needed my ego stroked and pretty much to as I say, to get laid and get paid. And that's what a counter-dependent does. But in my community of recovering love addicts, I get authenticity and genuine support, and somebody who really relates and understands what it's like. The fifth thing that is a benefit of emotional brokenness is it will encourage you to grow spiritually. You really you do have a choice, I suppose, but it feels like you don't have a choice. Having your walls broken down will make you a praying man and a church-going man. And I've enjoyed going to church. And it doesn't have to be church or Christianity. It can be whatever your form of spirituality is. And every really effective help for addiction has included a higher power. And for me, I said a little prayer before this video and said, Lord, I don't have a lot of fire in my tank, and the people are going to be bored and think that I'm a wimp and not be inspired and not be helped because I don't have that energy that Mark Smith. People keep telling me, they say, you'll be fine, you're Mark Smith. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that guy exists anymore. There's a softer, kinder, sweeter, gentler Mark Smith, and he still knows a lot and can help people, but I may not dazzle folks quite as much. But I do feel like God is with me every day, and I need him every single day. Used to be, I'd strut into the counseling office and just bring all kinds of confidence with me, and now I get in there and do well, and I still dazzle people and help people a great deal, but it's in a different way, and it's with God's help, and it's with more talking from my own experience and pain than from being a hot shot. Another benefit of emotional brokenness is it really will make you practice self-care. As a workaholic counter-dependent, I really wasn't very good at self-care. I was somebody who drove and drove and drove myself, and I didn't get enough sleep. my former fiance knew that I would a lot of times be up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning doing work and preparing for clients and writing blogs. And so I've been forced to get exercise, and the last couple Wednesdays I had plenty to do, but I was tired, so I rested and I slept a lot. And I've been eating better. When I'm sad, I call a friend and I meet for dinner or breakfast. I make sure I play basketball. I get massages on a regular basis. I do these things because I have to, because I'm a broken man who's putting a little salve on the wound every day. And you guys will be the judge of how much I get better. But the point is, really a lot of difficult pain isn't a bad thing. It'll make you a better man. It'll make you a better woman. It'll just make you more open. When I'm working with somebody who has their walls down, excuse me, I'm able to sort of reach in and sort of grab that wounded little kid right out of their chest. And I can do that because my little kid's sitting right on the surface of my chest. So a seventh benefit of emotional brokenness, it'll make you so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the help that I got at on-site and from my therapist, Paul Hartman, from the EMDR therapist, Shannon Grow, from the wonderful massage therapist, Deborah Ward, there in St. Joe, Michigan, and for my friends. My friends have been great. Fred, Peggy, Michael, my brother Sam. I'm just so grateful for everybody who's pitched in, and I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to my former fiance. And I still love her very much, and I pray for her growth and her really finding happiness in life. Another benefit of emotional brokenness is it can lead you to make amends. It can help you to look people in the eye and say, I'm really sorry. And I've had to do that a lot. And people are so open to it. If you come at it with a real spirit of humility and brokenness, almost anything can be forgiven and understood. And when you're in that period of seeing who you are and where you came from and how you behaved, you can't help but apologize. And gentlemen, if you've alienated your wife or your significant other, the best thing you can do is to sincerely, deeply, and humbly apologize with all your heart and soul. And for her to be able to see the genuineness in your eyes and in your heart and in your tone. Another benefit of emotional brokenness is it can save your marriage and save you a lot of money. Getting divorced is a very expensive thing. And whether you're married or whether you're in a relationship, really the key thing is being broken and having your walls come down. Even an average therapist can help you if your walls are down, but a brilliant therapist can't help you much if you're arrogant and know-it-all and walled off. So the beginning of this next one, number 10, benefit of emotional brokenness, it can get you in recovery. Everybody knows the definition of recovery for an alcoholic or a drug addict, but there's so many other things to be in recovery for. Recovery is simply knowing the truth about who you are, where you came from, what you got, and how to fix it, and working at it with all your heart and soul. And so for me, I'm working on healing trauma wounds. I'm working on healing post-traumatic stress wounds. And I'm working on trying to be a love addict in recovery, and to learn how to fill up the emptiness in my soul, not with a person, but with self-care and a balanced lifestyle where you draw a little bit of goodness and life from work, from your exercise, from your friends, from your reading, from your Lord, from your family, and you put it all together and you're happy. And the only real good candidate for a happy relationship is two people who are whole and happy themselves. So recovery, again, it's having your walls broken down, having a great deal of light and insight into who you are and what your issues are and who your significant other is, and who your parents are and were, and then doing that deep process work, that crying your guts out business. It's been so hard. It's been so hard for me. I've probably cried hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tears, but I'm getting there. And it doesn't look like a blessing. It looks like a curse, but anytime you get a chance to heal yourself at your core, it really is a blessing. And then the last thing is slowly piecing your life together and making your life self-actualized and making your life what you want it to be. So there you go. Emotional brokenness is a good thing. It's a hard thing. There are benefits. You have to embrace it as a gift and be thankful for it and let it mold you. My brokenness is molding me whether I like it or not. I would rather be that arrogant fellow who had all the answers and was enclosed in a bubble of denial, but that's not me anymore. So, well, thank you for watching, folks. God bless you. If you haven't joined our YouTube channel, Family Tree Counseling on YouTube, please do that. We're almost up to 4,000, and we're sneaking up on about 500,000 views. Also visit our website, familytreecounseling.com. I've got books there. I got a really good book on abandonment issues. I've got a good book on shame, a good book on affair recovery. So check out familytreecounseling.com. So embrace your pain. Become a deeper, better, wiser person. That's part of the growth of this pain. Is it's going to give you some wisdom and some perspective. And I thank my teacher, my former fiance, for all the lessons and growth that came from our relationship. And again, I wish blessing upon her and blessing upon you. Thanks for watching.